we'll
up,
start.
you know?
We'll start off with the absolute calamity that's going on at Newcastle, bro. Like
Again?
what? No, but even Isak, man. Like the whole thing this week that's happening with Isak, we're gonna talk about that too.
Big problems at Newcastle, man. Like honestly, my missus even said to me again. She goes, "What's going on?" She goes, "You okay? Is there something going on at work?" You know, and I'm sitting there just saying, "Yeah, work is a bit stressful at the moment. Work is fine. I'm completely under control at work. It's Newcastle. They are doing my head in. Like I'm constantly thinking about it. It's affecting my sleep. I'm on Twitter all day long.
You got Ricky Romano over there posting on X.
Seriously, like you guys are supposed to be mates. You're just sending me jabs all the time, reminders. Hey, this guy's linked here. Jackson's about to get done.
You know what? Honestly, it's come to a point where we're actually starting to feel bad now. This is really crazy.
It's too much, man.
I didn't expect the waterfall to happen like this. It's just went boom.
And you know what? The criticism's been over the top. You know, people are saying, you know, like Newcastle they couldn't attract Bonnie Blue at the moment. You know what I mean? Like they're saying all sorts of things. You know, like Bonnie Blue would reject us. You know, but. Yeah. Man, I honestly, it's a really depressing time at the moment for Newcastle. The summer has not gone as we would have expected. You know, we were with one of the best strikers in the world, some of the best midfielders in Europe. You know, like very bright and promising England fullbacks. The nucleus was there for a really good summer and for us to kick on. Instead, it's just gone the absolute 180.
Well, you've lost Zesko now and then Wissa.
Well, look,
might not ever come over.
Sesko, I really wanted to get over the line because it was a statement signing. He's young.
Ekitike as well. That's three.
Ekitike. Yeah, I mean,
three strikers,
was a bad one. You know, I think the João Pedro one for me was the one I really wanted because I know he was good at Brighton. I felt like he had another gear, and Howe would have got it out of him. And everyone would have said almost like the Isak situation. Oh, everyone was after Isak, but no one wanted to pull the trigger. No one. If we got João Pedro at 23 at Newcastle, he might have kicked on, you know, and he would have been a good, you know, playing with Isak or even in place of him at St. James Park. For me, that was the big loss. Like, Ekitike, good player. I really like him. Risk.
Yeah.
Sesko, really good player. Is he going to be Benjamin Hoyland? You know, we don't know what this guy's going to do, right?
Benjamin
Button. You know, or Benjamin Tesco. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Tesco's a really cheap.
Yeah. I'm putting, like, I know you're going to attest, like, I'm really giving you a lot of praise now because you're making a very dull situation sound a lot more better than it actually is. But
I'm depressed. I said I'm not even sleeping. How am I making the situation better?
I've been watching Sky Sports and Craig Hope has come on more on my TV than my son's photos. Like literally, Craig Hope.
Bro, who's that
Keith
guy,
Downey.
man?
No, Keith Downey. Sorry, Keith Downey.
That
bloke with his nicely groomed beard and his white teeth and his slick back hair. It's all I see in the TV. It might as well just be slapped on the bloody on the monitor. But the Ekitike deal, I think I want to put that as a knee-jerk sort of thing because I think the alarm started ringing then. There was kind of smoke coming out of the smoke alarm
that was
at
the
that
beginning.
point.
It looked
and
like
I thought,
right? Yeah.
You know, when you burn toast and it just simmers out of the thing, I think that was happening. But you know what, Chuck? I'll give you this much. I reckon, and I said this all the time, I don't think it's doom and gloom. And I said this to you on the chat, the middle of the EPL tables just trapdoored out. Like that's kind of boom.
It's bottomed out.
Bournemouth, Fulham, they've all, mate, unless something happens in 2 weeks, I don't know what's going to, like Bournemouth haven't got a back line. I don't know what they're going to do. Like honestly, them.
No, they're in trouble.
Brentford's finished as well.
Brentford, like, there's a lot of changes there. So that's kind of where where the cap is the floor for you. So it's not that bad. But having said that, without a striker, you'll be floating. You'll be the king of that pile, sort of thing. The thing is with you guys, if you can get Wissa, and I'm laughing about it, even if Jackson, I know we don't want him there, but even with those two sort of strikers, you're going to get 20, potentially 25 to 30 goals between them. I reckon that's plenty there. Like that's a lot. But at least you can be right behind the pack, as in the Europe chasing.
Yeah, but how much are they going to pay for Jackson? But that's the 60, part, 70, 80 mil.
I reckon they're going to get hammered for in terms of premiums.
I think the price for Jackson is 60 million.
What a joke, but Chelsea.
I mean,
it's a lot.
If Newcastle's, I guess he has to be the last resort. He has to be the last resort. I don't think he's got to be the first. The thing is, you've got a willing seller, Chelsea, and you got a really desperate buyer, right? When you put those two things together, naturally there's going to be conversations between the two clubs. I personally, and I've said this before, I would really like to see us go for Nick Waltermater at Stuttgart. He's 6'5". He's had an unbelievable campaign last year. He's great with the feet. He's good in the air. He's exactly the type of striker that I think could come in at Newcastle next year and make a difference.
Yeah,
And if you get his if you can get his German compatriot in there from Milan, Malik Chow as well, you've got two young, good German players that are gonna, improve the squad, immediately improve the squad, right? Obviously, there's no one there up front. Then the key domino is Brentford need to sign someone. As soon as they do, almost immediately Wissa will come to Newcastle. If we get someone like Walter Mata, I know there've been loose links to him, and we get Wissa, we're still alive. We're still alive in a way, right? Because we've got a good midfield, we've got great wingers, we've got good fullbacks. If we get Chow, he's a really, really good defender. He's underrated. Interestingly, though, it said that Newcastle has agreed a 4-year deal with him, and Milan, they accepted £25 million from Como, I think it was, or 25 million euros, only 6-7 weeks ago. Now Allegri has said he's seen him in training and he doesn't want to lose him. And if Newcastle buy him, they have to pay over the market. So it just shows the predicament we're in. Why didn't we go for him when Como were trying to pull him in? Now we're going to have to pay a little bit over.
Dan, what about Chelsea? Took Pedro off you, and then now we're offering Jackson 80 mil to you guys.
It's a farce.
Completely.
It's, I hope we use that in the negotiation. The thing with Jackson is, I don't think any fan base wants him. He doesn't appear to have very high footballing IQ. Man. He passes when he should be shooting, and he's shooting when he should be passing. But for all his faults, his work rate is off the charts. He's going to create so many chances, and under the tutelage of Eddie Howe, he might get an extra 10% out of him. Everyone under Howe naturally improves. If he improves a little bit on what he is, I got a mate at work, an Irish fella. He's over the moon that they got Sesko, and I said, look, I don't want Jackson, but if we get him, I'll put a bet with you that Jackson will score more Premier League goals next year than Sesko. Any bet you want. He's
been there for 2 years.
But that's my point. So for me, Jackson might be a good stopgap to ensure that there's still viability to push the top 6. And he seems like the player in 2 years' time might leave somewhere anyway. You might still get 50, 60 for him in 2 years' time, sending him, whether it be Saudi or some other team. So is it as bad as we think? Possibly not. I mean, it's somewhere in the middle. It's obviously not as bad as we think, but it's obviously not as positive as we think it could be. It's somewhere in the middle. But maybe you get your money back. Maybe he helps plug the gap for a couple of years. Maybe he's better than we thought. Or
the way the strikers are sold now, you'll get your money back, no problem. You got Wissa, who's got half an hour left on his contract, trying to go for 40 mil, doing strikes, and he was nothing 2-3 years ago. All of a sudden, he's worth 40 mil. We want 60 mil for Ollie Watkins. He's hitting 30 now. It's a lot of money for us.
What about United now? Let's talk about United now with the Sesko signing, and then now they're linked up with Donnarumma. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, Donnarumma. He's got 12 months left at PSG.
But they're signing Chevalier.
They've signed Chevalier. The problem is that Donnarumma's going to want wages. And Man United, their wage bill is just blowing up.
Right,
they need to get rid of these guys. That's what I'm saying. They've sacked everybody, right?
Bro, it's literally cleaned up the whole shop.
There's no one left. And, Ratcliffe's out there telling everybody that they're going to run out of money. How an owner of the club can even say that for a publicly listed company, that we're about to run out of money without running it through the appropriate channel, is beyond me. It just shows me they're all over the shop. But they've put a lot on this Sesko deal. They've spent another 75 million on top of the 70 million from Højlund, on top of the 35, 40 million on Xerxes. They've got 4 forwards there that are going to cost them close to 200 million pounds. And
it's rough.
We know 2 of them are not great. So Sesko really needs to buck the trend. If he doesn't, hey, this is how you put your club back, right?
It's a complete graveyard. Yeah. Just exactly what Rick said. They're you've got 3 young strikers. You've spent 150, 200 mil already. Yeah. They scored 3 goals each last year. What a piss take.
Can we go back to Newcastle. I only want to do
I
this.
told you, this guy won't let Newcastle.
Bro, how much
No,
Newcastle bar?
No,
It's too
not about
much.
the
He won't let it
strike.
go. He's like a dog on a bone.
No.
Fuck.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. I'm giving him the airtime that he wants because this is Newcastle time, man.
I want to deflect. I don't want to be talking about Newcastle. Have you seen the predicament we're in?
I
want to change the subject. You keep bringing it back.
Anyway, forget the striker. The striker's been the albatross around your neck for quite some time. Yeah. The rest of the squad has not been touched, nor have I seen anything, any links to actually address that. Why aren't they parking the strike, or why aren't they kind of simmering on both angles? I haven't seen any midfielder links. I've not seen anything really besides striker links. Why?
The key
because there is an Isak.
Yeah, no. The key thing is, Rick, the midfield and defense is serviceable for now, right? Without a striker, we're going absolutely nowhere. We need someone to score goals. We had Anthony Gordon last year fill in that void for 4 or 5 games, I think it was. We didn't win one. We don't have any striker.
No. What I'm saying,
so
why
what
are you
I'm saying is,
simultaneously doing it?
Well, it's hard. I think all the energy and effort is going to make sure we land someone up top, right?
Yeah, but if they lose Isak, that's the problem, Rick.
Yeah,
that's
well,
why they're focusing
I think Isak's going to go.
Yeah,
like, I'm a Newcastle fan.
The guy's getting away
I'm
from
about 75
days.
to 80% sure he's gone.
Oh, he's
gone. He does not want to put the jersey on.
And Newcastle's got no backroom staff to fucking look after other areas as well.
That's what I'm saying. It's bloody Andy Howe. We spoke about him already. We've got one guy making. How many phones do you think the guy's got?
Mate, he's got that many. But you know what? By now, Chuck, Douglas Luiz looks like he's going to Forest.
Yeah,
he would have been perfect for you guys.
Yeah, he would have been good. I would have liked
Kobe Maino will keep telling you, like, all these little bids you could be sort of peppering on the side over here whilst you're chasing the big wigs up front. I reckon you could have done heaps of business on the side, let alone your striker.
I think they think that the midfield and defense targets are a little bit easier to get because there's a dime a dozen. There's a lot of them. It just depends what direction you want to go in. The striker market is so small at the moment of the quality that we're after. It's integral we line someone up, Rick. So
the season starts in 10 days.
Well, it's going to be Anthony Gordon up front. So we're already in big trouble at the moment.
No, I'm saying for the backs and for the mids.
Rick, lean forward, man. Lean forward.
Then, lean forward. You're flashing. And move your hand. Too much hands around. You're blocking your camera.
I feel like I'm playing Call of Duty and this guy's dying and just respawning. Like, keep seriously, man. Lean forward.
And you can't shoot him for a few seconds.
You want me to headbutt the fucking screen? I'm spawning.
Seriously. He just keeps respawning. Fuck.
No. Anyway. I'm just curious to see how, because it's in 10 days you play us. You can have the same team minus Isak up front. Okay, you can get away with it game 1, game 2, game 3, but eventually these blokes are going to start getting tired when Europe starts. So I'm saying, I'm just don't understand how they haven't just picked up the easy wins whilst I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Rick, let's talk about your team now. The new signing you have.
Oh yes, finally we can talk about Villa. Bloody hell, with minus it's got PSR. So we managed to score a good old Frenchie from Nice. I can't pronounce his name, Gassand. I think that's his pronunciation. I butchered that probably, but it's
Evan
a good
Gassand.
move. Yeah, it's a good move. It's a cheap move. It's cheap, relatively speaking. It's about 30 odd mil with add-ons. Look, that's probably the Rashford replacement. He plays across the front three, and he's a fill-in striker. So we've got Marlon and him to fill in behind Watkins. He's a ball carrier. From what I started watching him when we were first linked to him about 12 months ago. I didn't know much about him. Then I just started watching a couple of games. Literally carries the ball end to end. He's good on both feet. He's strong. He follows tactics quite well. I don't think he's a. No, he's renowned for it. I've been reading up on him.
Huge tactician.
No, he follows instructions quite well. He's great defensively. Works hard. He's big.
Bro, are you on the training pitch? Who are you to say that he follows instructions quite well?
That's his.
Here he's respawning
that's what he
again.
says.
Like a
Lean
Tyndall
forward,
over here.
man. Keep respawning. Lean forward.
Mate, what am I? You want me to lean like you, like a president like that?
It's Yugoslavia over here. Yugoslavia politics over here.
Bloody hell! No, but look, I don't know how he's going to go. But for 22 mil, what can we do? That's the best we can probably do with
22 mil. It's 35
pounds.
No, it's 30. It's 30 mil plus add-ons. Yeah.
No, it's 30 mil pounds. Full stop.
I saw 35 by Ornstein.
It's a deal worth 30 mil up front euros with 5 million add-ons. What's that?
Yeah, 35 million euros, 0.87. So you're looking around about 27 million in total. Yeah.
Yeah. So 22 up front.
28, 20, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So it's in that term, it's relatively cheap, like versus everything else that's coming through the market.
But Rick, the question for you is, okay, you did a nice little propaganda play there. The question for you is, you're under squad cost rule challenges at Villa. You're under PSR pressure, which has been relieved to an extent because of the sale of the women's team. But your wage bill has been hovering around 90-odd%. And all I've seen is new contract after new contract at the club. And you're keeping guys that you said you were going to remove, like Digny. Where's Villa going? Do you want to play in Europe again, or like, what's going on?
Mate, I reckon they're happy to stick in domestic and be banned from Europe the way they're going. But I'm pretty sure Digne and Mings signed on lower contracts. There's no way they would have signed for the same one.
Why would Dig?
What do you mean? Why would he take a pay cut?
Why would he take a pay cut? You want him. You want him to stay.
What, 120K for a 32-year-old? No,
yes, for sure.
No chance.
He could have gone to another team and made the same, if not more. Why would he stay for a pay cut? Yeah.
Because
no chance he's taking
we offered
a pay
him more
cut.
years.
Mings maybe took a 20K pay cut or something, but Digny's same. I reckon same as is. Keep going.
Yeah. No chance. No way. I'd have to. Yeah. It's all saying. Anyways, if we sign him for the same.
What did Kamara go from, and what's Kamara now?
That I don't know. I haven't checked up on that, but there's no way he's taken the same. He's probably gone up a bit, and we still got to sign.
Technician talks on the training ground, and he doesn't know
Kamara's. But look, Kamara was on about 70K, and now he's closer to 150. I reckon.
Kamara wasn't on 150 already.
How many? What did he sign? When you bought him, you paid 150 for him.
He's on free. No chance. You bought him for free.
He's the highest earner, Kamara.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, 150. He hasn't gone down. If you valued him that highly,
he's gone up for sure.
Yeah, he's at least 180 now.
Oh, easy. Digne, I'd be surprised if he's gone up because the guy was linked to Atletico Madrid to Saudi. I'd be very surprised.
What's going on, Martinez? Are you guys going to sell him or keep him, or do you like his wages smashing your PSR?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm surprised that they've kept all these players. Clearly, they've obviously worked it out that they can kind of keep these guys.
There's no interest, bro.
Huh?
But there's no interest for these players.
There's no interest at the prices Villa want.
Yeah,
Martinez, but
Villa want big prices, and they're not getting it. No one's biting. And the problem is a little bit like ours. Teams know you're desperate, so they're not. You want 40, 50 million for Martinez? All right, we'll give you 15 plus 5 add-on.
If they don't get Donnarumma,
we're not giving anything.
Yeah, but you know what? There's 2 weeks to go in the 3 weeks to go in the transfer window. Anything can happen, and you can see.
If United don't get Donnarumma, Martinez will go there. I reckon that's my opinion.
Otherwise,
huh?
Yeah. Isn't Donnarumma on a free?
No, he's got 1 year left. He's got.
Yeah, but what are they going to pay for 1 year?
Next June. Yeah, but he's not gonna. He's gonna want to play, bro. They already signed Chevalier.
Yeah,
he's the best keeper in the world.
But
why would he be second option?
What are United going to pay for Donnarumma versus Martinez?
Not as much as Martinez, I reckon.
No,
but salary-wise,
but he's younger too, isn't he? What is he, 28, 29?
26, 27.
He's a lot younger.
Come on.
Yeah. And he's
26 versus a 33-year-old who was, on the downward last year for Villa.
It depends on salary, I guess, as well.
Donnarumma's better.
He's better given the circumstances, but I don't know. They wouldn't be doing this unless some sales were happening or it's under control, which I didn't have a clue it was. I thought it was all over the place. So I always thought Digne was going,
looking at your accounts, they don't make good reading, man. You've made a lot of losses and you've made a lot of big sales, and your wage ratio is one of the highest in the Premier League. It's not even close. You're almost on an island by yourself. You're at 94%. I saw last year.
But I'm saying to you, why would they spend if that was still the case? I don't get it.
But Rick, spending 25, 28 million is not really spending in the Premier League for a club like Villa. If anything, that's just showing me you've got the handbrakes on. Like Premier League teams at that level, top 8, they can spend 50 to 100.
But we're still keeping the high owners plus bought these. We haven't sold anybody.
Yeah, well, that's why you've been very limited.
I don't know I can't explain it, but I at least would have thought a few at the door would have gone.
But with all that said, Villa is the one team that's gone under the radar, and no one's really come after your players. And you've got a good nucleus, especially in midfield and attack. You're going to have a good year this year, Villa. I think you're gonna push the top 4 again. Watkins there, Rodgers, Tielemans. These guys are good players. This is good players for Villa, and no one's even had a sniff at them or unsettled them at all. So
I was worried at the start with you guys. I thought you guys would kick on, and I thought we would be in trouble with the handbrakes. It's actually done the opposite. We've done nothing. We've kept the same squad. You guys,
whereas we're breaking apart. Well,
yeah, which is I thought the opposite. If
you lose Isak, you lose the best piece of the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're automatically going backwards. You're automatically going backwards.
Yeah, I thought you guys would have kind of elevated, but yeah, this is kind of worked out. Now coming to think of it, I'm actually happy nothing's happened because we didn't really lose anyone.
Liverpool proved last year you don't need to make a lot of signings to go on and have a really good year. What you
just need a Salah.
Well, Salah obviously, but what I'm saying is what you do need is some continuity, not a whole lot of disruption, and then you've put yourself in a position to kick on. Liverpool had that last year. I'm not saying you're gonna win the title, but what I'm saying is you're gonna have a good. I think you're set up for a good year. You know, in my opinion.
What are you predicting?
The only caveat to that is the top four have gotten a lot stronger.
Yeah, that's right. I think Villa will be 5th, maybe 4th. They'll be going there. Jay, based off preseason, I know no one should
preseason.
And I know exactly no one should be really preseason at all. But Arsenal have not looked good in preseason. You've got your striker, and as I've said before, as we've said offline, you've got your striker. Now the missing piece is the left winger.
The left wing.
And then you get the left winger. Then the missing piece is the coach.
It's always going to change.
It's constantly moving at Arsenal.
Right. It's
do you know what? Do you know what? He's the constant. I told you last week. He's not a tactician. He's not even the top 5 or 10 in the world. And he's as a coach. So as long as you're stuck with him, you're kind of sealing. He'll never.
I thought he had a small window to make it all happen, but when you're going to lose 8 points in a title race, you snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, and then the second season you sort of underwhelm again. It's the message maybe they need a new voice. Maybe you need a Zidane to come in and and all of a sudden.
Do you know what they're saying? They're saying bring Fabregas in from Como.
Oh, nah, 1 year.
It's a big risk.
1 year, come on.
A lot of it's coming from the Arsenal fans.
And you know what? Como are spending hard to look what they've done. Yeah, I know. They're trying. They've backed him.
You know what? If we're going to look... If we're going to... He is, but if we're going to look at our friendlies, you're right, bud. Like we said last week, Arteta hasn't changed anything. He's still playing the same. Gyökeres, to be honest, he touched the ball twice, but he does look very unfit. So I can't... Yeah. It's way too early to rule him out. It's not even the season yet. I feel like give him a couple of weeks, a month or so, because he hasn't played since May.
Yeah. He's a big cold.
But Arteta, it's a big one with Arteta. I've always said the last 2-3 years he's the problem.
Yeah,
he is. Rick, you called it 5 years ago, and I called it 2-3 years ago.
I called it 5 years ago as well. I said, the guy's serving an apprenticeship at a club like Arsenal.
You're right. But it has been. Rick, you go missing.
He's done okay. He weeded out all. He did what he had to do. He weeded out the poor culture, the high earners.
But that wasn't difficult. We just had to get rid of all the crap players.
The way I see it is that he spent 700 million, 800 million.
Yeah, close to $1 billion now.
Team. Yeah, close to $1 billion.
And like 200 million sales.
For me, the two key signings, or one wasn't even a signing, was Saka, who came through the academy. Arsenal are not in this position if it wasn't for an academy kid turbocharging your title charge.
Yeah.
So that's nothing to do with him in a weird way, right? He inherited him.
And Saliba.
And then you've got Skelly and Saliba. Who bought Saliba?
Emery.
Emery.
Those were the two key players at Arsenal. They're your two best players at Arsenal. Maybe Rice you can.
And I'd say Odegaard as well.
Odegaard's he's slipping. That's a conversation for another day.
But I say this to Jay. Jay, you're going to hate me for saying this, but I always live and die by this. Emery achieved more in 2 years in his trajectory than this guy did in his 6 years. He went to a Europa League final, lost it in his second year, or is that his first year? What am I talking about?
Emery came at a tough
against
time.
Chelsea. He was
replacing Wenger. Wenger still had his picture on the wall at the time he was coming through. So he had to get rid of.
He came at a bad time. He
definitely came at a bad time.
And he got into Europa with that shit squad. Come on.
But if you look at that back line he had, Kolasinac, you had the Socrates, David Luiz.
You know who was buying for him?
What a team, bro.
He wasn't buying.
No, he wasn't.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
But with us, all the handbrakes are off. He gets to say for everything.
What I'm saying,
you guys are handing him players.
Yeah, Saliba was his fine.
Saliba and Saka are your two best players. If I take those two players out of Arsenal, you're fighting with Villa for top 4. Yeah. If I take those two, Jay, the rest of your team is good, but Saliba's an unbelievable defender, one of the best.
I think Martinelli was his find as well.
Well, he's running out of steam. But what I'm saying is, if I take those two guys out, Arteta is not challenging for the title under any circumstance.
Yeah, but you can say that about any team. It's like Isak or Watkins. You know what I mean?
I get that, but what I'm saying is Arteta has spent close to $1 billion now, as you just said. If you've spent that much money and your two main guys, one's the academy, which you didn't have a lot to do with, and the other one was bought by your predecessor, and you've spent that much. You're showing your hand. And to be honest, he didn't even want Saliba at the beginning. He wanted to come 1 year earlier, and he said, no, stay out on loan in France.
Yeah,
remember? That was like, in hindsight, that's lunacy.
Yeah, I know. Look, his best signing under Arteta has been Rice, essentially, because obviously
Rice and Odegaard. Rice and Odegaard have been his two best signings, right?
Yeah,
but Rice is £100 million you're not missing, right?
Exactly. You can't go wrong. Otherwise, it's a calamity.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like Liverpool buying Isak now. If they buy him for 130, there's not. Yeah. Other than injury, there's no real risk there. The guy's going to come in, link up, score goals.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you? Wait, do you want me to tell you the players he's purchased since he's come through the door? Arteta, right? This is.
You say this, and I'll tell you what team he had before when he inherited. Go.
Then I'll tell you.
Yeah, he inherited.
He bought garbage. So he's 1920. Was that Emery or Arteta?
It's split into Arteta. Emery got sacked earlier on.
All right, let's just ignore that season. So 2021, which is
where he won FA Cup. Yeah. That's
so
FA
Thomas
Cup
Partey, Gabriel, Pablo Mari. Which is that guy even alive? Pablo Mari still? I don't know where he is. Then next year, Ben White, Odegaard, Chuck's mate Ramsdale, Takiro Tomiyasu, Lokonga, Tavares, Trusty. Those three last
one for nine.
Those three guys belong at bloody Stockport. They're crap.
Yeah, no.
Gabriel Jesus, Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko, Marquinhos, Matt Turner. I'm pretty sure I worked with that bloke. Leandro Trossard, Jacob Cuillo, Jorginho. Look at that. Pavel Havertz.
That's not no matter what we can agree where those players belong. Mate. That's not a list of players that's trying to win a title.
No, he's pretty much he funded Chelsea and City in that whole.
And that for me is one of the biggest indictments against him. You're going to give Chelsea, what they give him, 65 million. Yeah, you're giving two teams in a PSR world. They're taking that money and investing it in a year later or whatever, a couple of years later in Cole Palmer. They're going out there buying players who are making a real difference. And
And the problem is PSI is Chelsea and City, and we're funding them essentially. That's the whole problem. But Rick also he's had to clean up the whole team, dude.
You know what, Jay? This year it's windows. Actually, all the big four windows have been pretty good.
What I was saying was, if you look at Emery's team and then the team that Arteta inherited, dude, it was the worst team. Like today, would have come
horrific,
mid-table. Bro, the back line was terrible. Like we had the whole Balkan Wars in the back line.
As you know, let's just say you're playing Football Manager and you've got a kitty of 700 million over the next 5 years. You want to inherit a team that bad, because then you're going to gut it and you're going to buy. You've literally got carte blanche to buy whoever you see fit and build your team, your structure, your model, your players, your culture. It was the perfect scenario for him. And as I said, if he had made better signings with the two players that he had nothing to do with, Saka and Saliba, you might have won the Premier League. For me, his biggest mistake out of all the mistakes he made was your centre forward situation.
Yes,
if he went out instead of buying Chelsea's reject off cut, and he went out and bought an Isak, or he went out and bought a more proven striker, you might be celebrating at least one title in the last 3-4 years.
Can I just say about
Jesus? He didn't do it. He didn't do that.
Jesus came on like fire when we first signed him. I'll be honest. He did. He was doing really well up until he tore his ACL. So after that, I don't know why we didn't go for another. No, he's not. He just runs hard. He's good number 9 that runs hard. He's not a finisher. He's not clinical at all.
Him and Havertz are the same. They're both CFs. They're not
the type of player.
No, Havertz is a cam pretty much. Yeah, I don't know how he never went for a striker. That was the biggest knock on his. And you know what? It's a problem as well. Edu was the problem too. I don't think they worked well together. That's why he's pissed off now.
Well, I'm looking at the players you signed. Looking at the players you signed, you've spent so much money.
And look at Berta's window now. Berta's first summer, right? He's completely way better than Edu already.
I don't know. Well, the jury's still out. You got to hope Gyökeres delivers, man.
Yep. And Zubimendi as well is a good signing too.
Zubimendi's a good signing. He got that over the line. But a Spanish guy getting a Spanish signing over the line. Okay, that's well for a Spanish coach that played for the same team that he did, right? Yeah. So I'm saying there's a lot of links there. So it's
upgrade to Partey.
Yeah, it should be an upgrade to Partey. He's a good player. But you're not judged on whether or not you've got a good number 6 now. You need the number 9. and you guys put all your eggs in the Gyökeres basket. You didn't even give Newcastle a call. You just backed off. You've done the opposite of what Liverpool have done. Liverpool have gone in and they've made it well known to unsettle him. If Arsenal had done the same, it might have been a direct shootout between the two of you, right? And then
that would have boded well for you guys.
Yeah, well, okay, forget us. If we lose him, selling him to Liverpool, Arsenal makes no difference. We've lost him. We'll be annoyed as it is.
Yeah, but if there's a shootout, you would have got more money out of it. That's my
of
point.
course, it helps, of course. But what I'm saying is, it's still a big problem for us. We've lost him. We can't replace Isak this window. We can replace the position with players and get bodies in, but we can't replace Isak. But if Arsenal had gone out this window and bought him for 125 instead of Liverpool, it might have been the signing that turned the tide for the title. Because if Arsenal had Isak and not Gyökeres, look, Gyökeres might be great, and maybe I'm jumping the gun early, but if you had Isak, I know he would have been great. He probably would have been better for you than he has been for us.
We should have signed him 2 years ago.
And that's saying something. Imagine he had better players around him, and he's got the ball, and he can play 1-2s with Odegaard, Saka. It could have been a circus at
We should have signed him 2 years ago.
It could have, exactly. It could have been. It could have been unbelievable. So, you guys, but you backed off. You went for the cheaper option, the £65 million option instead of the £125 million option, right? And if Liverpool get him, you're only judged on title or bust. You don't get title, it's bust. If Liverpool get the second or first best striker or the best striker in the Premier League, that makes your hurdle even harder.
We should have signed him 2 years ago, not now. It's way too late for that. There's no way Arsenal's pulling out 150 mil for a striker. There's no chance. That's why we pulled out.
You know what you could have done? Last year we were in a PSR nightmare. We were offering players on deadline day. Not 2 years ago. Last year, Jay. Last year we had to sell Minter, even Howe was excited to play Yakuba Minter. He's a right winger. He's what we needed. Our scouting system found him. He's only 20 years old, 21 years old. He's, I think he got 6 or 7 goals in the Premier League this year, and he didn't even play well. He's just a kid. He's going to be a really good player. Howe wanted him. We had to get rid of him. Elliot Anderson, we had to get rid of him. We don't have any players. So if you guys came knocking last year and offered us 90 or 100, you might have had him a year earlier.
But the problem is because
you still said no. You had no interest in him.
I'll tell you why. Because we bought Rice, we weren't going to spend another 100 mil. There wasn't happening.
How much did you spend last year, Jay? What did you buy? Calafiori, 40.
That's another thing as well. Arteta bought all these defenders, dude. That's another thing.
So you're saying you're not going to spend another 100 mil. One of your best windows when you signed one really, really good player, and he came in and he made a difference, right? Every Arsenal fan's been saying for years.
And Edu, I'm telling you, it's both of them. That's why I'm saying now. You look at Berta, you could tell the difference in signings and quality of players that we've signed versus the Zinchenkos, the Calafioris, all those players. Party.
Will this be Arteta's final season as an inflection point?
I as a fan, I'd say yes, but I don't think Arsenal will sack him. There's no way.
I agree. He will only get sacked if he finishes 6th or 7th or something, and the wheels completely fall off, and there's mutiny on AFTV and in the crowd. Right? Then his situation's untenable. But if he's still in the top 4. And, he had a couple unlucky injuries, which always happens at Arsenal. He might live to fight another day.
So 5 years 5 years on, top 4 finishes, is that what we're after at Arsenal? Because they've spent enough to win.
That's where they're at, Rick.
I don't think they'll sack him. There's no way. They have to pay out his salary, dude. He's on like 15 million a year.
Second highest paid manager.
Berta's has come in, right? Then you got a new sporting director. Go look at the links he has and where he's come from.
When you have an American owner, that's the problem. American owners are the biggest problem. There's not many successful, apart from Liverpool now, but there's not many successful teams that are built by American owners. Chelsea's off Abramovich. How can you claim that?
Now I'm saying Bowley.
But they've done nothing, Rick.
He's had a cracker.
But Rick, Abramovich spent so much money, invested so many assets. Their playing squad, their assets were huge. So they just started selling and trading and spending. What I'm saying is, if Abramovich didn't build, it's like give Newcastle 2 years of no PSR.
It's the same thing.
Let us buy 20 players, and all of them are worth 30 to 50 million, and then put PSR restrictions on us. Then we start dumping. We'll start trading. But so you're in that position.
I'm talking about Berta. Like what I'm saying to you is. My gut feel is they've backed him. They've given him the striker. They're going to see how it works with the striker. If this bloke ends up getting 10 goals and these guys can be second or third, I reckon he's on the hot seat. That's my take.
Arteta or Berta or both?
No, Arteta.
Okay, yeah, I agree. He should be.
If you want to piss people off, if you're a big team like Chelsea who try to win everything, Premier League, Champions Leagues, they've won 2 in 15 years.
Yeah,
they would sack. Who remembers when Ancelotti? No, Ancelotti. Yeah. He won the title for them. The following year, I think it might have been, or the year after, he finished second in the tunnel at Everton at Goodison. He got sacked. Like that's Ancelotti,
that's what I'm saying. But
who's one of the best managers of all time.
But Arsenal should be like that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well,
you've had Pochettino, what are they? Ancelotti, they've Conte. Like they've had so many good coaches, bro. Who were Arteta on a Premiership?
Nah, I can't believe it.
Emery was heaps better than Arteta in terms of like strategy and tactician. He's been a manager, pedigree, everything. He's won Europa League a couple of times. Like he's managed PSG. Like
we've said it at the very beginning in our first pod. Arsenal have the third best manager on this chart. You can say Emery 1, Howe 2, Arteta 3, in my view, and probably all three of our views.
Yeah.
Right. Think about what's been accomplished by Emery. He's won a lot of things. He's good. Look what he's done with Villa. He's taken them from Steven Gerrard's, crash course where they were heading into the championship. It looked like to now being a top 4 challenger.
That was a huge comeback. That
Eddie Howe took over a Newcastle side. Took over a Newcastle side 19th at halfway through the season. Then we ended up getting 4th, 2 cup finals, winning 1, top Champions League again. That's what Eddie Howe did, right? Arteta hasn't shown anything like that.
No, I think this is definitely, in my opinion, the year. Like what Rick said, he's on the hot seat. I don't think we sack him, but
I'm saying. I don't think Rick. They would. I think that all three of us would probably sack him if he doesn't.
I'll sack him today. I'll sack him today.
All three of us would sack him, but knowing who the Americans are, knowing how much he's on, and are there good candidates out there to replace him? Right, you got to think about that too.
It's all about the bottom line, dude.
Yeah.
Americans.
Arsenal. If Arsenal are going to be scrimping over the Gyökeres add-ons, the way they did and took a transfer that looked like a pretty easy deal for Arsenal, 65 to 70 million for Arsenal. That's not earth-shattering for a club of that size, for a position that was vital. If they're fighting over add-ons like that, you think they're going to just sack a £15 million a year manager?
There's no way. No. It's literally it's an American style company. It's like for example, using Denver Nuggets as an example, when they won the championship, that's when we actually started pouring. He said it himself. Stan Kroenke said he's going to start pouring more money into Arsenal, and look what's happened. He's spending a lot more money now, but that's based off his other investments. That's the problem, Rick. We don't have an Arsenal fan looking after owning the team.
No,
we don't. None of us have fans owning the team.
No, but
your owners, Rick. Your owners are very invested, Rick.
Exactly. Your owner, half your owner. Yeah, but he's more into the club than Kroenke is. Kroenke's business for him.
Oh, I know. But you guys make a lot more revenue than we do too.
Exactly. But do you think PIF care? They could have bought anyone in the league. They bought Newcastle because they
just wanted a vehicle to shove their bloody country into the face of the world, because this is a perfect marketing sort of scheme.
But it is. That's what I'm saying.
But it's gone the other way. Look how bad it's gone. Since Amanda Staveley left, the club's in free fall. There's no structure at Newcastle at the moment. I remember everything's going wrong.
I remember I had a big debate with you about PIF, and you hammered me about it. You're like, no, we've got a $700 million stadium. I'm like, mate, that's all smoke. Look where it is now, because you could see the signs back then. Not to say that they're not bad. It's just I wanted more from them because they're loaded. I thought they would have set you up in the back end. At least get the hierarchy.
They've got a lot of work to do.
I don't know about Berta. What's these links you're talking about?
So look at it. Look, I was reading up on it not long ago. Berta in the past is not afraid to make some big decisions, like as in terms of, obviously transfers, but in terms of coaching. So I don't know how much power he has, or is it one of these scenarios where Arteta controls him? Like for us, Emery kind of works with Monchi. Monchi kind of reports to Emery. It's a weird setup, but I don't know how it is with you guys at Arsenal. Do you think Berta will have the guts to actually do it? Because I think given his history, I think he will make that decision.
But don't you think, with how Arteta has gone, he's won no trophies. Don't you think Arsenal are backing him regardless, even with the contract they gave him? With
Edu going, what I was thinking with Edu going and Berta coming in, is that a change of scene? Is that a change of direction in terms of we need another fresh set of eyes over here? And look, the transfer this year has been 10 times better than last year and previous.
Or the last 5 years, yeah.
So that he's already kind of reshaped that. Have they said to him, look, can you sort of give us? Have they given him more power to kind of exert over the coaching sort of thing?
Yeah. Look, he's only been here since March. He's only been the last 4 or 5 months, so I don't know how much power he has, but it looks like he's done pretty well in the transfer market, like you said. With Arteta, I don't know. I feel like the ownership's backing him, dude. I feel like they've given him too many rewards for like literally he hasn't won anything. He hasn't done anything with the squad. Do you know what I mean? 15 million for an apprenticeship.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That it's way above award rate for his level. You know what I mean?
They've been looking at NBA contracts for managers and stuff, and then they've just okay, we'll do that for Arteta and.
What's he getting a reward for? He's won 2 FA Cups or 1 FA Cup and 2 Community Shields. You know what I mean?
That was Emery's team, and Aubameyang won that FA Cup. I don't think it had a lot to do with it.
And then what happened after that? Aubameyang threw his toys out the pram, wanted to leave. After that, he left. So, anyways, hopefully we have a turnaround this season and have a bit more damage. But I just can't see strategic-wise and tactical-wise. Arteta hasn't improved at all from the friendlies at all.
So we were talking about it before about the top 4 pulling away very quickly. I know there's still time in the window to go. What rating are we giving each of the top 4 teams? Start with City. Yeah.
Out of the 4, this is my personal opinion. I think they've got the most even though they've done well. I think that they're probably the least effective in what they've done in terms of sort of plugging the gaps that they need to plug. Because Chelsea, again, they bought the lap, they got Pedro, so they've completely tied up their strike force, which they needed. Again, Arsenal, got Gyökeres, Zubimendi, Madueke, I don't know about, not sure, but anyway, that's still out there. And obviously Liverpool don't have to go through what they've bought. I think they've done well. I think City have kind of bought names that are kind of been floating. Like Cherki's been linked to every man and his dog for the past year, so that's a bit of a risk in itself. Eight Nori, he's a good back, but again, is he?
He doesn't defend. Back? He doesn't defend.
He just pushes forward. Reinders I really like from Milan.
Yeah, he's good.
I really rate him, so I'm curious to see how he goes. And they bought Trafford back, so they've spent a lot, but have they made an impact as the other teams have? I don't know.
So what's the
rating?
B?
B.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
What about you, Jim?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is how they're going to plug that De Bruyne hole. That's the biggest thing. Where's that coming from? How's Haaland getting service? Once De Bruyne went down, what happened to Haaland last year? And he scored like 20-something, even though it's only 20 goals. But it's still like he dropped from the season before. He scored 38 goals to 20. Even though he was injured, didn't look the same player without Kevin.
I think where they're missing, they need Phil Foden back, the real Phil Foden.
Yeah,
he was meant to be the head.
That too,
and he just fell off a cliff. Yeah.
Just looking at their signings, Rick, I'm not going to rename them. Just conscious of time here. I'd say probably a C+, C even. I don't know. I just don't think they haven't replaced even like. Rodri's coming back now. Like, what's happening there now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is he going to be the same player? He's a big piece of their puzzle as well. That spine, their spine's the biggest thing, and they've lost De Bruyne, and Rodri's had a massive injury. You know what I mean?
I don't think you can replace De Bruyne. It's very hard.
Look, I'm not going to repeat what you guys said, but I think it's a C+ as well. I don't think it's been pretty underwhelming. If you include January as well, and now. They've spent over £300 million. Mamouche is the only one that's really come off for me, and I think Reinders might be quite good. Let's do Liverpool.
Rick, you want to go first?
That's an easy one. Look, if they get Isak, it's an A++ for me, considering they've just got that much firepower. But as it stands, it's definitely an A.
Still the same.
Yeah,
I've got A as well.
With Isaac, it's A++. This is A.
Yeah. I got them as a A- for me, because I still think they have a real hole at the back in defense. But all their other signings have been really good.
We're rating Man United's window so far with Sesko now.
I reckon a B- for me for Man United.
And if they get Donnarumma, I reckon it's an A. They need that.
Yeah,
they need that keeper.
From where they've been and the amount they've spent, they've shocked everybody, right?
B for me.
Yeah, they still have a problem in the middle. The midfield and central, like that's
good episode. All right, thank you for listening to episode 7. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on X as well. Big Rick is pushing a lot of propaganda going on against Newcastle on X, so follow us on there as well. Anyways, take care.
See you, boys.
See ya.